got it. Let me hit the got it here also. And here we were. All righty. So here we are. Let me say namaste. Namaste, namaste. Islam. I am Brother Hassan Ghazi Obey here in Morocco at northwest of Mexum. How are you? Hey, everyone. Guess what it is, Eloa Raphael. It is Mercury Day. So our 7-day tropic medical astro weather report is what we're about to get down to. Without further ado, however, here are my magnificent and beloved brothers in whom I am well pleased, and they are.
Islam. I am Tarat my Bay. Islam.
I am Benjamin Bay. Peace and love to you all. You. Brother Benjamin. All righty. So we got that impromptu improv flavor going on as always, right? I'm gonna be Freestyle Wednesday in the Astro Weather. But anyone else Freestyle Wednesday and just for the record.
I had to put it in writing.
There you go, bro. That's right. Let them know how you be doing. Like it is.
I had to let them. I had to put it. Bring the 12th house to the 6th house here. My mental to the collective.
Yeah.
When I was in class Monday with, you guys know when we had class with Sam. Even though I know sometimes they probably think like I'm coming off like an asshole. It's just like, nah, man, I'm just sharing the truth with you or whatever. However, one thing I was able to share though in class, so shout out to Sam F. Reynolds, man. Right? Sam Hill is what I prefer to invoke. However, and we're ready to stop, playing black guy games. It's an open-hearted Moorish community just waiting you to honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers. However, instead of, he was very dismissive at one point. I know how Moorish people think. It's like, that's how people would be dismissive. Sam's cool, man. So what I was saying, sometimes, he had asked a question. He was like, how long does it take to prepare for, for a client or whatever? And I'm just like, average should be about 2 hours. 2 hours should give you about 15 minutes of good prep, you know what I mean? So just kind of be able to speak to a queer uninterrupted. Like I said, at another time, shout out to Jen Ming also, these are our colleagues, our international colleagues. A lot of people are not going to know, those of our loved ones from the hood may not really, like, who did he say? It's like, yeah, but these are our colleagues, so to speak, quote unquote. So just sharing there, it's like I've also shared that we do speed reading. So that's our Freestyle Wednesday. And Freestyle Wednesday is kind of like, instead of the Queen Scandal fashion, we share it in a speed reading kind of way, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what that, what that was on Monday. So I just wanted to kind of share that or whatever, just as far as our, most 7HealStar Chronicles experience or whatever. And like I said, I do more to make sure, we're archiving as needed. So with that being said, without further ado, let me get to this screen share here, right? And share the screen pertaining to what we are all here for this degree, right? And we are here for this, right? Slide it on to the side. All righty, guys, we'd like to welcome you to our 7HealStar.com, right? 7-day tropic medical astro weather report, and we're utilizing the astro calendar from March, Aries 2022 to February, Pisces 2023. Quote, time never was when man was not, end quote. And we are actually quoting El-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, who's doing religious corporate activity, being Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. preparing literature divinely, leaving it for us to analyze for ourselves without being held to clubism games, and being able, as always, to offer collaborative efforts with beings that are sincere. And those things actually just kind of happen to happen as the universe makes things align. However, we are always open to collaborating with sincere, true and faithful Moors. So with that being said, the moon cycle that we are analyzing this degree, we're now here at the 30th, all right? It continues to June 2022. All righty, so we have now, all right, you guys remember on the last cycle, if you go back and just check, we had on the completion for last cycle, Brother Terrell Tamari Bay had completed on Wednesday, so he will be doing the Thursday and Tuesday, right? So Brother Terrell is covering the 30th June, all right? And that day, guys, remember I said that day, starting from the East Coast, and adjust your times accordingly. About 11:25:57, 11:25:57, if I recall it correctly, 11:25:57 Eastern. That is when you would like to go and start planting your seeds for vegetables or any plant, so to speak, that bears fruit above ground. Anything that bears fruit above ground, make sure you are planting those seeds at 11:25:57, 1100 hours, 25 minutes, and 57 seconds Eastern, which is just less than, or just about a minute and 3 seconds before lunar trines Neptune. Look at that. Looky, Astro Cookie. As Luna is increasing in light, thus raising the moisture, wicking the moisture in the soil to the surface, it's in a perfect harmony with the quote unquote water god, the god of the sea, Neptune, Poseidon, right? Looky, Astro Cookie. That sounds like a very amazing time to make sure you go and plan. And we're gonna hear the smoothest stylings pertaining to testimonials from Brother Terrell Smart Day when we get there. And then, guys, as you can actually see, remember, because we're going from, we're now in, so, you know, as some people say, Cancer season, right? So we're analyzing the month or the moon cycle, the water sign Cancer, the scarab, the crab, right? Karka, ruled by Chandra, right? Ruled by the moon, Luna. We're also analyzing here the fire sign Leo, right? Lion, Leon, ruled by Sol, Surya, right? Surya, the sun, right? In Vedic astrology, it's Surya, correct? So with that being said, we're looking at the lunar solar month here. And now we are here also going to finally analyze, we are looking at Friday and Monday for I. So I'm analyzing the quote unquote Independence Day, as you can see, which is Moon Day. All righty. And Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday is our beloved brother Benjamin Bay. And he will be closing it out for us, getting there for the testimony for the 6th July 2022. All righty, so with that being said, that is what we are analyzing. I'm going to stop the screen share here. already, bring us home back, right? And let me go and do the screen share here now for back and give my bro the remote control as well while we do this in tandem as needed. And for right now, I'll just, kind of roll with it. Let you go and see the calendar, though. I know I'm going to need to look at the calendar while we're doing this so I can see what's next. All right. Aphrodite. I yield the floor to my beloved brother in whom I am well pleased, brother Terrell Tamari Bay Islam.
Alrighty, Islam. We got the 30th of June. Yes, Thursday, 2022. Christian calendar year, that's 2022. 1442. Moorish calendar year. Yes. Sunrise, 0500, minutes, 12 seconds to be exact. The sun is at 8 degrees Cancer, 37 minutes, right? So yeah, just this is a very auspicious day. Like Brother Hassan told you, really just get out and be fruitful, plant your seeds, and not just, physically. Also pay attention to the seeds that you are planting metaphysically. Like Brother Benjamin said, bringing the metaphysical down to the physical, right? So yeah, just, pay attention to what you are paying attention to. Yeah. So we're going to move on to the first aspect. That's Moon, Trine, Neptune, right? So just that spark of clarity, or just intuitive clarity, so to speak. Moon's in the 11th, 25 degrees, 26 minutes Cancer. So Neptune will be 25 degrees, 26 minutes Pisces, right? Neptune's in the 7th. Yeah, so this is just this is clarity. Now you're recognizing values and what needs to be rearranged for certain manifestations to pretty much be placed upon you. You're changing again your way of manifesting, or where you put your energy, or the things you pay attention to, so to speak. Definitely, a good time to probably definitely do some sort of creative writing, so to speak, or really just clean up, relax, really don't do too much actually. There might be a lot of emotional disturbances, so to speak, so you might not want to move too fast and just really trust your intuition, but also watch your judgment, so to speak. Put it like that. Also a good time to indulge into the astrology too. Get some clarity with your own chart, look at your chart or whatnot. Look some things up relative to who you are and whom your mother created, so to speak. Why are you here? What's your purpose? Things of that sort. That's the clarity moment, spark of clarity. Just that clarity will bring the enhancement of gifts, so to speak. Your gifts that you have, they'll be enhanced. Now, once the clarity is there, so to speak, you have to recognize it to, amplify it. Yeah, so moving on, Moon squares Mars, right? So this is, just not moving too fast, re-evaluating your whole standing, so to speak, because the moon's in the 10th. Speaking on how you stand, your status, who you are. So, there can be some rearrangements or some, quarrels, so to speak, emotional carousel, possibly. Very intense energy. Definitely headaches going around with that Mars in Aries, and the emotions just, getting you tense and stressed. So your anxieties or whatever, people are just intensified. So it's best to just really use that energy for relaxation or something creative, but really just relaxing though, and not overindulging in one's activities or, usual routine. basically, doing a whole sit back, doing things that you usually don't do, which would be like resting, if you're a workaholic or whatnot. But then if you are not, then you're doing the opposite, you see where it fits. So yeah, just breaking bad habits, so to speak, with the emotional disturbances and emotional realizations, repeating the same patterns over and over again. It's pretty much clear here with that moon trine Neptune and then moon squares Mars. So it's like, man, that's the same thing that got me to react last time, basically. But whatever. Let's see how it fits. Moving on, we're going to get the moon opposing Pluto. So, like I always say, this is like a blast to the past, so to speak. Reconciliation is pretty much here. Pluto's in the third, 27 degrees, 48 minutes, and it's retrograde. So moon's in the ninth, right? So with that Pluto in third, it's like, the abilities that we naturally have, again, just like what we sort of realize with the moon trine Neptune. Now we're figuring out how we can like utilize this ability to bring some sort of structure to ourselves and the collective at large. Like it may be a philosophical idea that may be like out there publicly in the world, or like some school of thought, maybe like Buddhism possibly. Like they could have a concept that you've never heard of, but you think it, and then it's like, oh my God, it's like a aha moment. So that can just bring clarity, and it'll ignite some sort of sudden change that may bring you close to your childhood, and to maybe your mother specifically, or whoever is closest to your heart, specifically the people you care about. But this is really also like finding out what you want to do for oneself instead of confiding to someone else's jurisdiction, so to speak. Like what really works for you rather than what works for whomever, right? And then also finding out the beauties and differences, so to speak. Because just because someone doesn't see it as you see it doesn't mean the way they can bring something isn't substantial, if it's based in sincerity, so to speak, and not just vanity and quarrelsome, so to speak. So this is just going back to traditional times, so to speak, or this is the repel against tradition, so to speak. It's going back to tradition or the repel against tradition. So now you can see those dynamics within, the collective at large, or what's happening within the collective, so to speak, constitutional rights, natural rights and substantial rights, seeing the formality and how that, exists, seeing that the force is actually in the people. You take the power, but the people have all of the, power, quote unquote power, which is actually force. But yeah. And then this is the moon's last aspect. That's for like 4 hours and 25 minutes.
Correct.
Right. And so, of course, don't spend your resources. What time is that? 16:14. That's the moon's last aspect. Yeah. So, wait. 16:14? Yeah, 16:14 in the moon's last aspect. So yeah, you want to be mindful because, you may want to go out to eat. So you should probably just cook, at home, do something, make that meal that you always like to go get, so to speak, just create it at home, being inspired to, be innovative at home. So, that the moon's going to go into Leo, right?
Make sure seeds are planted before this moon goes void. So that window is between 11:25, 57 Eastern till about, as we can see, 16:13, 46. So that would be the prime time window to plant your seeds because you're guaranteeing the moons being in sidereal and tropic Cancer. Where's the North Node? 21 degrees Taurus. So that means that's what 30 plus 21 is what 51. So 51, 31, take it back what to 27 degrees Taurus plus 9, 2 degrees Gemini would be the moon's draconic placement. So even in that, it's just kind of saying, hey, this is like it's interesting. Can somebody look up just real quick, the Brother Sean, can you look up the symbolic degrees, 360 symbolic degrees for 2 to 3 degrees Gemini for the draconic moon? It's going to be roughly about that, about 2 to 3 degrees Gemini. You there, Brother Sean? Muy interesante. So let me see if I can find this in the drive real quick. And I will bring it up myself. Is this open? What's happening? Maybe I'll do it on this one. Anybody beats me to the punch? Oh, no, let's not do that. Let's see if it's actually here. And then I yield. Actually, it's me next, right? No, I yield to you for Leo entering, Luna entering Leo, bro. I just wanted to really look at the symbolic degree on that because I got a feeling that that's just a really awesome window. I just want to really see what 2 to 3 really would be. All right, so I have a 360 symbolic degrees loading now. So, all right, so let's just say, right, this is, let's see who this is. Just, okay, this is Cherubel. We'll just run with Cherubel since that's right here, just for time's sake, right? Just to get through it, not to prolong it. So Cherubel, 1826 to 1908, was the pseudonym pertaining to John Thomas, a Welsh clairvoyant astrologer and healer. Cherubel's first published his interpretations in 1893. The author notes that due to precessions, there is a relation between 0 degrees Aries and the Aries point and the position pertaining to this against the actual constellations, which is at 6 degrees Pisces. It was at 12 degrees Pisces when Cherubel wrote this text. This meaning pertaining to 6 degrees Pisces could hold some significance describing the current time period according to Cherubel. However, let's look at what he authored for 2 to 3 degrees Gemini is based off of us just roughly calculating off the top of our heads the draconic moon placement. And 2 degrees Gemini, according to Cherubel, well, I guess I can do 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3. Is that fair, brothers?
Oh.
Yes, no, maybe so. 1 and 2, 2 to 3, or just 2 to 3?
Go for it.
Okay, so those 2 are cool.
See.
Alrighty, so I guess what I'll what I'll do then is this here. And and then come here. I think you guys will be able to. Now, I should be able to see the same. And if not, I'll stop the screen share from over here, though. Okay, seems like okay. There it is. It actually it changed. I just wanted to make sure the monitor here on YouTube. All right, so I'll just zoom in about. All right, so according to Cherubel here, all right, we just looked at a narrow vista for 1 to 2 degrees Gemini for the moon there. And in terms of us, planting during when the, the tropic moon is between 25 degrees, 25 minutes and 27 degrees, 48 minutes. This is the time that we're going to take to plant seeds pertaining to, things that bear fruit above ground. So in looking at it sidereally speaking, so it'll be about roughly 2 degrees Cancer, where the moon is. Here, as well as 0 degrees Cancer, 25 minutes roughly, where it's at 11:25:57. So with that being said, when we're looking at this about, roughly this 2 degree, window here, plant our seeds. So from 1 to 2 degrees Gemini, a narrow vista, pertaining to considerable extent, resembling a square tube. The interior pertaining to which is luminous, rendered so by some means one does not understand. That's what Cherubel is saying. It knows much power pertaining to concentration to discover some one thing, some force in nature, perhaps according to the bent pertaining to his or her genius. It may be connected with optics or some new phase pertaining to electricity. Or he may find his way in chemistry. It is possible that this may apply with equal truth to the metaphysical or the transcendental. Man, I can't make this up, man. This is just a random where it just landed. So 2 to 3 degrees Gemini. Anybody want to expound on that before I continue, or you just want me to continue?
You can just continue, bro. That's how you're on a roll.
All righty, continuing then. A tremendous Corinthian pillar. Corinthian. It's interesting. Moors again. A tremendous Corinthian pillar with a large amount pertaining to earth, heart, buildings, and rocky ramparts. And the rocket's red glare of bursting into the night. The flag was there. Where does it say ramparts? I know ramparts is in that lyric. I know Francis Scott Key was writing the trap music of 1812. I'm just trying to really think of where it said ramparts. And anyway, I'm pretty sure we can look the lyrics up. I'm just trying to really see where ramparts was there. Anyway, rocky ramparts resting on it, and which appears to be the only support pertaining to a massive superstructure. So all that on this one pillar is like almost a reference to Atlas. It denotes a strong character, strong in every way, both physically and psychically. Should this being be so circumstanced, he may cut a prominent figure as the founder and supporter of some gigantic team or organization. As a rule, such an one cannot fail to find his way into some very important position in life, attended with great responsibilities. So plant those seeds so you can get that fruitful harvest. As you saw, brother Terrell just delineated that the first testimony that he gave after sunrise is for lunar trining Neptune. Like, yeah, plant those seeds and let that water work its thing there. All right. Anyone like to add their wisdom? I'm going to yield here on that.
Love for humanity, yes.
Right. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, like, hey, like it is what it is. So I'm gonna say my peaceful greetings there. Go ahead, brother Terrell. It's on you. After 4 hours and 25 minutes, Luna is ingressing Leo, brother. That's where you are.
Going into Leo, yes. All right, yeah. So just relative to all of the wisdom you've just been bestowed upon, that has been bestowed upon you. Just really be mindful of how you react to those, these energies, because the moon going into Leo, ingressing Leo, there could be more, depending on your reactionary situations, you could be in a situation you may not want to be in. So really just control.
That's a shout out to brother Youssef, right? That's just a verbal calendar for planting at this moment. So shout out to brother Youssef. You got a very brotherly reminder from brother Cujo Adwell. All right, so just wanted to verbalize some calendar planting there, because brother Youssef has quite a green thumb, and as we see too, brother Corey, goodness gracious, brother Corey's thumb is truly green. Goodness gracious. So yeah, so we're gonna all be the Moorish community that we are, and all make sure we plant seeds pertaining to those things. So pardon me again, brother Terrell, and I thank you for your patience in advance.
Islam, yes. So, like I said, being mindful. That's being mindful. Moon ingressing into Leo. Be mindful as the moon ingresses into Leo. Yeah.
Yes. So, man, it's interesting too. It's happening in the 7th house. You got that 4, 5, 7 energy there. Home, like some home creative relatives, like correlatives.
Yeah, you should probably be mindful about, if you're thinking about, moving, you should think about, who you're moving with before you just move, so to speak.
No, go ahead, say what you were saying. I was just saying this time.
That was it. Yeah.
Indeed. Saying peaceful greetings to you there, YouTube that are viewing, peaceful greetings to you all in Islam. Thank you for joining us. And those that join a little bit late, but also get this link now and share also. Copy the link. Also need to get it out to the Facebook, right? So let's slide it on over there to Facebook. It's funny, I should send it out to the Discord too, right? Send it out to AYA in Discord. So live now, beloveds, right? This one's going to go to Facebook, guys. I want you all to enjoy. Interessante. Even thinking about, something that was brought to mind, and I know I think Brother Jaron will be coming in soon on the topic of what he was speaking on, right? It's kind of what it is there. right? And let's see. I'm going to tag my bros, Benjamin, Ford, Sean, right? Let's get it going and share. All righty, so we got that going on, right? So we have the sunrise for 1st July 2022. Right, sunrise is at 48 minutes and 41 seconds after 0500 hours, and it'll be at 9 degrees Cancer, 14 minutes there. And where is Luna? Luna is transiting the second house, all right, while she is ruling both the first and the second. Actually, Luna's ruling both the first and second house, so it's sunrise here. This solar ascendant conjunction here, Luna is really bringing the sense between the self-value. You may find yourself rising early on this day, maybe even before the sun rises. Actually, you may find yourself rising at what is called twilight, right when the sun is below the horizon. It's still, you can see the sun's light outside. However, the sun will be below the horizon. You find yourself rising early on the 1st July there. Alrighty, and there in the second house, you know, just really being able to find yourself really securing within your heart some things that you may have inherited and may not have had seen the values in, but now you're really being able to see how fortunate you are to really bring to the forefront those values. Because at first you were denying some things within inside yourself, but now you'll be able to appropriately to comprehending why, you know, these things were inherited within your own value system. So, you know, just really even think of the fact that, you know, Saturn there is allowing you to be able to reflect upon some things, you know, astrological, you know, that you have inherited and may have overlooked. So now you can be able to approach it in an erudite fashion to allow yourself to be able to find values and how to relate not only to others, but really with inside yourself. So this will be the proverbial epiphany, so to speak, which is interesting because that would seemingly, you know, be opposite probably in a orthodox fashion to the epiphany, right? We're here in transiting, quote unquote, the house of David, correct? However, with that being said, I yield the floor. I think my next, let's see, what do I have there next? Coming back to this calendar here. I know the pros got me covered.
Moon, Trine, Jupiter.
It's, I have 3 testimonies. All right, for the first. All right, I have Luna trine Jupiter here. All right, and Luna's trine Jupiter at 1100 hours, 49 minutes and 7 seconds thereafter. So Luna is actually, again, we're still transiting Leo, so we're just kind of, you know, home with the children and others' children, right? Kind of like how it looks like. There's this theme of children there, even if it's not, quote unquote, your children, not necessarily so-called stepchildren, but nieces, nephews, little cousins, things of that nature. You know, finding some way to just spend time there, allowing yourself to be able to communicate some, you know, some things that will be very standing for them in their life, so they'll be able to, you know, kind of make distinguishing choices between the things that may, you know, fascinate them, some things they may be in denial about also. However, being able to allow these things to, you know, really find a balance and harmony in how one is going to expand and how they really see themselves ideally relate, you know, and really not just taking the fascination and the knowledge of things that's being communicated to their hearts when they're amongst the group. It'll really correct their standing and maybe even be one that, you know, you never know how sometimes, and I mean, maybe people haven't considered this, but however, let me say, when interacting, you know, with your loved ones and your peers, you know, and looking at this 10th house, having Gemini rule both the 10th, Mercury rule both the 10th and 11th, by Gemini being there on the 10th and 11th. So when it comes to one's standing amongst their peers and the values that are there, subconscious mind and the inner child is they're sharing that which they would like to expand on their, self, relating purposes to be like, hey, look, I really see this within myself. I like to share this part of me here. However, for a means to really, have one, have this duty in being able to kind of have a proverbial fascination and denial. So there's a duty response to fascination and denial. 16 degrees Cancer is duty, the degree pertaining to duty. So with that, and still, we're looking at about the ninth lunar mansion here, if I'm not mistaken. The sun should be about within the ninth lunar mansion. To double check that. So now we're really looking at this means pertaining to just making sure we're effectively communicating how we stand and the values that we see, and being able to take our subconscious mind, that inner child, how we're sharing it, and being able to really expand upon how we take ourselves and relating, even those things we can utilize to give a wounded healing lesson in how we're instituting relationships as we expand them, especially, for those that are possibly, finding your communities more online and you're being able to share things there. And then eventually you'll see that you'll be able to kind of have that childlike feeling of like, okay, I found home. Alrighty. So now, even though we know that the moon is transiting every sign, within 28 and a half days. So even though it may seem quick, there will be this really awesome, harmonious mindset. Still, the theme pertaining to Epiphany is just really interesting. So, and we recognize on the third day pertaining to the Epiphany, Prophet Alim manifested, and just really just looking at these things and not being dogmatic with how we utilize our spiritual exercise. However, being able to see the astrology and cosmology effectively and tell the truth and not be, businessy with it. Servants worthy of this higher, and we do 7HealStar Astrology Firm. We're just really showing you guys, look, this is what you can really see collectively. You're really allowing yourself to be very creative in how you're going to have your emotions, right? Going to have how your sense of security and things that you do in your subconscious mind, you'll be feeling very creative. You're going to be really bringing some things to the forefront in your heart, and that is going to be 5 houses away, right? The 11th house is the creativity house, or the child or children's house, to the way you relate to others. Relating, are you? So how are you doing that here? Well, you're doing it in a harmonious fashion where you can really expand the institution on how you kind of also maybe be able to share with, the children you helped to make, or others' children that you are now in their lives. You will be able to share with them some things that are some wounded healing lessons of your own, so that they'll be able to take that into account when they're coming across certain situations pertaining to their experience in life. And so with that being said, I'm going to yield. I think the next one, Brother Terrell, is the Luna sextile Venus, right? Happening around 1700 hours and 59 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, 1700 hours, 58 minutes, 47 seconds there, right? So we have Luna now 8th house in it, all right? Looks like it's 8th house in it. Right, ruling the 8th house also, Cancer, right? So 8th house in it, and very interestingly, semi-sextile from the sun, just separating about 34 minutes, 34 arc minutes, separating from semi-sextile. So half the growth and opportunity, with right in between it, fascination, denial, and faded interactions, dealing with other people's property, so to speak, or inheritance. And Cancer ruling, Cancer being on the 8th house and the moon ruling that. Reflectionary, that sense speaking, part of fortune there is just standing guard at the 2nd house, while in the 1st of Jupiter is just kind of allowing that 4th house energy pertaining to like the same kind of moon energy, being able to further, expand things that are, maybe expanding one's sense of security and self-esteem, and allowing one to be able to really have an erudite fashion in the way that they go about, it's almost like the proverbial caterpillar is now hitting its wings against the cocoon, because now it's a butterfly. So it's just strengthening its wings to be able to just, really fly effectively. All right. So now really looking at Luna sextile Shukra Venus, right? 7th and 8th house, right? So this is between, how we're relating and how we're valuing how we're relating, right? So now Mercury is completely, so this is between Mercury and Moon rulership. However, what terms are they on? Interestingly, the Moon is on Venus's terms. Mercury is on Mars's terms. And the terms that Mars is on Saturn's terms. What terms is Saturn on? Mars's terms. Look at that. Mutual reception there. What some people would call both the malefics. Ooh. Terms and conditions, right? So we look at the terms and conditions. Venus, Jupiter, Venus. So Venus and Jupiter, look at that. Their terms, mutual reception. Looky. Are you saying that both the quote unquote benefics are mutual reception by term, while both the quote unquote malefics are in mutual reception by term also? Wow. Looky, Astro Cookie. So we are allowing ourselves to really find the value in a way to make sure we are really communicating those things that may even seem like it's embarrassing. You guys will be able to really cleanse yourself by just admitting what may seem to be so-called embarrassing. That's why I, quote unquote, live out loud, so to speak, sort of. Even if, ones try to utilize what seems like, ooh, that's some type of incriminating information. Like, no, it's not. I shared that in a live like 3 moon cycles ago. You know what I mean? Like, because like there's no future in front of you guys. And so we're really here and, evolving and developing our character. So seeing a transit like this, where we can allow our subconscious mind and our values to really have a growth opportunity while really midpointing that. Like the sun is midpointing this. You see how I said that the moon is semi-sextile the sun, and so therefore the sun is semi-sextile Venus. Like, look at this. This is the sun is midpointing this. Are we really seeing this? So with that being said, and sun being the midpoint there, right? So the Luna Venusian midpoint is conjunct the sun. So now that's another way of looking at like what's really going on at 10 degrees Cancer, right? That's like just one way of really looking at it, right? Like what's really going on there. I don't have the encyclopedia open, but it's really, really amazing to see, especially during this transit year, right? So it's really letting us know, guys, like we're going to really be able to bring some light to something. This is treasure chest type of energy. Just pay very close attention. Be not in fascination and denial with the speaker at the moment. For it is my duty to make sure I'm only communicating that which is necessary for you to see the value within your own self. Take this time to look at the 7th house with Venus there and accidental dignity to be self-reflective and be able to communicate that beauty within by traveling east, looking at that 1st house again, referring back to Jupiter in the 4th. So there's this recurring theme pertaining to security and home, nutrition even. Find that which feeds the soul sincerely and not just feeds the soul temporarily. You'll be able to sincerely enjoy allowing yourself to bring to the core pertaining to your focus, that which is inherited, which was very or is transformative in how you've been cultivating your mind for retrograde Pluto just around about land and farming. So how are you cultivating your mind pertaining to this, especially when in the 8th house? You have Sun conjunct the lunar Venusian midpoint. That is a serious, that is really allowing you to stand up for what is completely correct and right, and it not be tenebrous. Tenebrous. We ward off the tenebrous, for we are a perfected man. My final testimony is a Martian Plutonian square. Interestingly, around about 2200 hour, 13-minute mark. I have a Martian Plutonian square here at 2200 hours, 13 minutes, and 11 seconds thereafter. Still for 1st July, 2022. That is Holy Day, guys. All right, that I'm giving my diverse testimonies for. All righty, so this is just almost 2 hours after sunset. All righty, we have a Martian Plutonian square. All right. Peaceful greetings, brother Coeleza. Peaceful greetings to you. So with that, he said 726. That's really old fashioned. 726. With that being said, with this square here, and look where it's taking place. I didn't even bring it into focus. However, I already know it's where it's taking place is going to be amazing. So yeah, I knew it. 2 and 12. All right. So the values in isolating yourself, you will see the values in isolating yourself. You'll have a transformative yet essential, isolation. One that isn't forced, actually. One that isn't forced. So the transformation that'll happen will provide a growth opportunity that, you could possibly be in meditation. You could possibly also be allowing yourself to really expand your breath descended exercise. Breath descended exercise. Spirituality, right? The art pertaining to breathing is spirituality. So a breath descended exercise is spirituality also, is what I'm saying. You will actually be able to now remember the things that you previously had practiced and go, okay, I can modify this. I've learned from my mistakes there. And now actively institute the things that are necessary from you isolating yourself and allowing. This is where now the butterfly comes out of the cocoon. The butterfly is coming out of the cocoon here. This is what this is. That's why Pluto's rising. The transformation is happening. And the values of being a butterfly now, that butterfly effect, you can now find what's really fortunate in establishing yourself in a fashion that really allows you to explore. You know, now you have a new way of exploring. You know, in the caterpillar phase, you can only explore as far as you can squirm. In butterfly phase, now you can explore as far as you are allowing yourself to fly within the appropriate conditions necessary for you to continue flight. So with that being said, even psychologically speaking, and even considering one's ideals in life and the way that one would assist those ideals by being transformative and bringing regenerative phases in those things that are essential in order to grow effectively, and how ones are instituting a learning from one's mistakes type of spiritual credit account, so to speak. And with that, I am going to yield the floor to my beloved brother and whom I'm well pleased, Brother Benjamin Bay, Islam. Brother Benjamin is there. Brother Benjamin, y'all hear me or no?
Yeah. Escucha.
Escucha. Gracias. I think I have your sunrise there. It's
Saturday, July 2nd, 2022 at 0500 hour, 49 minutes and 10 seconds. The day of Saturn, the hour of Saturn looks like right there. On the sunrise here for Baltimore, got 10 degrees, Cancer, 31 minutes, and the ruler of that is in the second house. Finance is in Leo, 16 degrees, 32 minutes. And I'll get into my first delineation, and it is the moon going into the sign of Leo coming from Cancer. Correct there. Yeah, so that would be the first technically delineation. And then I'll be getting into Mercury Trine Saturn. 600 hours and 39 minutes. All right. Hey, Mercury is in the 12th house, and Saturn is in the 8th house already. All right. Giving my testimony to the harmonious, the harmonization in the internal ideas that need to be let go to assist the group behind the scenes in structuring the essentials pertaining to the inheritance and seeing plans through. Saturn being retrograde in the 8th house matters will be thoroughly re-looked over to tie up the loose ends. So basically here, you know what I'm saying, you're taking those ideas you have subconsciously, you know, in your 12th house, or like your mind, like you were saying earlier, and pulling them into the 8th house, you know, basically. And I'll yield on that. Bringing those ideas that you have internal to the group. All right. For my second one, still Saturday, July 2nd, 2022. Now it is 800 hours, 21 minutes, and 13 seconds. Still the day of Saturn, and this is the hour of Mars. Look at Mars up there. On the rise here, 11 degrees Leo, 36 minutes. And that ruler is on the 11th house cusp there. No, the cusp, but it's leaving the 12th, going into the 11th. So, you know, like one foot in, one foot out, trying to deal with the sun had legs. You know what I'm saying? But my next delineation here would be the moon in a square to Uranus or Uranus. The moon is there in the first house itself, and Leo at 17 degrees, 48 minutes, and Uranus is there sitting in the 10th house, 17 degrees, Taurus, 48 minutes. All right. And that is ruled, that is in Taurus is ruled by Venus, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is sitting there in the 11th house in Gemini, being ruled by Mercury right next to it. All right. So that your sudden changes will have some Venusian things about it, you know what I mean? Being a Taurus. Giving testimony to this operational tension. And the reason I say operational tension, you have to work out to a square. You have to work out the tension. You're literally like working out, you know what I mean? You work out to work out, you know, the tension to grow. The tension makes all things grow, you know what I mean? Happening within the self, you know, the first house, and sudden happenings in one's career, and that would be your 10th house matters. Don't be over dramatic about the situation. All circumstances are transit based. Learn how to use the fiery nature of Leo with the earthy nature of Taurus to get a handle on this operational square. You know, / intense moment. Control the sudden influx of emotions with this transit. So basically, you know, whatever may transpire, you know, during the workplace that may affect you personally, you know, like with the moon being in Leo, you could, you know, react in a dramatic fashion. So you could be being approached dramatically. With Leo being, you know, the sun, ruled by the sun, you want to shine, you want to be seen, but you don't want to be seen in a quote unquote bad light, you know what I mean? Reacting to a situation that doesn't, you know, for that type of reaction. So, you know, just watch how you react, you know, take time to assess what's going on. And it's not, you know, it's something that's going to be held against you, you know, it's all held, you know what I mean? So whatever it may be, you know, doom and gloom, it's all like just a transit based, you know what I'm saying? Embrace and move forward. And now you hashtag don't be dramatic. Don't be dramatic. All right. Get into my next one here. There would be Mercury. Here or shape that. Mercury square Neptune. Yep. Still July 2nd. This is 1600 hours, 52 minutes, 26 seconds. Still the day of Saturn, schoolmaster, hour of Mars, hour of intensity. And on the rise, ironically, a Mars ruled sign as in Scorpio, 23 degrees, Scorpio, 41 minutes. And that Mars is located in the 5th house of competition. Look at that. Or creativity, you know what I mean? So you could be, you know, playing for sports or something like that, or being creative. But, you know, you could be, don't overexert yourself, because you could, you know, it could be bittersweet, it could hurt. It could be some healing going on with that Chiron there, you know, but some friendly competition going on. And if you do come up short, you know what I mean, take it as a lesson, you know what I'm saying? So we're talking about this of Mercury square Neptune. Mercury is located here in the 7th, 8th. Was on the line of between the 8th and the 7th house. So it's going into the 7th, or, you know, it's counterclockwise going to the 8th. But, you know, it's going into the 7th house right there. And that Neptune is located in the 4th house, if I'm correct. Yeah, in the 4th house, retrograde in Pisces at 25 degrees Pisces. It's in the home, you know what I mean? So you could be, you know, confused about in the home, that you could be relocating, kind of like a YouTube video or something like that. And the institution of that would be streaming on YouTube, you know? All right, so giving testimony in the wrestling pertaining to one's ideas / communication about joint finances and the details about that endeavor. Being unclear at the moment, confused, frozen, isolated thoughts, are relaxed, and communicate properly what isn't being comprehended, and gather that information for vital use. The talk of going to children in the future could be unstable conversation at the moment, with Neptune being in the 5th. So give Neptune and Mercury time to make a new aspect and revisit that conversation. And I was speaking because from my location, Neptune was in the 5th. So this conversation would be for Baltimore, it would be more gravitated towards the home instead of 5th house children. So this communication about whatever it is of confusion is maintained in the home now. So you could be getting some straightening going on in the home about some type of subject that seems to be unclear between your loved one and, you know, the communication. And 4th fourth house in Baltimore, and it would be in the 8th house here. Mercury in the 8th house, so Mercury in the 7th house here. Or as you can see, going to the 7th. So now it seems you got your inheritance, squared away. You're gonna be like, okay, cool. Now we got it like bonded. Who do I trust to relate this to? And Venus is there in the 7th as well. So it has to be a woman or someone you trust. You know what I mean? Or a couple of them. You know what I mean? So you're trying to decide like who do I want to go to, and that could be the confusion. You know what I mean? So just vet the situation. And trust your heart. And I yield for that Mercury Neptune. Yeah, and then I have Luna in reflection to Saturn. Race. Still July 2nd. It's still July 2nd, 2022. We're at 2100 hours, 54 seconds, 54 minutes, and 26 seconds. Still the day of Saturn. This is the hour of the moon. And on the rise at 4 degrees Aquarius, 11 minutes, which is being ruled by Saturn there in the first house itself. You know what I mean? So we're going to be, hunkering down on ourselves right now, getting our structure together, getting our status correct amongst the group. You know what I mean? All right. So moon in reflection to Saturn at 1900 hours and 54 minutes, pertaining to my location. I'm giving testimony to the tug pertaining to how one seeks the attention that is emotionally attached to how one is to relate with a significant other or business partner. Saturn putting structure or resistance or restraint on one's emotions, causing lack of spunk that Leo carries in essence. With the moon, being in Leo, allow this transit to assist you in being responsible for your own emotions. With any relationship, it's not always good to be booed up. So sometimes you must put things on the table and sort it out and make room for new things to shine. So like maybe feeling alone or distance in your relationship, whether it be like work, or business partner, your significant other, and that's only because the rays of Saturn in the first house, and that's only Saturn is making sure that things are square and where they need to be. You know what I mean? And the moon and Leo, and I think mother and children. You know what I mean? So right now we're going to make sure how relating that the mother and child are going to be secure. So the mother has to be upright and in the right mind, so she can further nurture and secure and protect the children. You know what I mean? So that's what Saturn is doing. So I would say for the fellas, mothers are being a little more, I would say, straightforward, upright, making sure things are taken care of, more on the short speaking of things. It's only because Saturn is, retroactively putting things in order for them and for their children that they bring here, that we assist that they bring here. So, you know what I mean? Like for the men, we just be housebounded, you know what I mean? Know the Constitution within yourself and know the Constitution of your consort and the Constitution of those that you are in business with, So don't take this time of getting your ego hurt, because the moon Leo, so everybody's ego here is on, an emotional realm. But for the mothers, the moon, governs you guys, more stronger than us men, or us like physical men, because man is mind. So just, take this time and just know that mother is starting to lead the way, So, respect it, just, respect it and guide it, whatever situation. And I'll get with the moon in reflection to Saturn. And that is kind of like, man and woman right there. If you look at it, like Saturn being, masculine and moon being feminine. Right. Respect one another's ego. Yeah, I think it was my last one for that. Let me get into the third. Yeah, July 3rd. July 3rd, and that would be like Mars trine. Let's just be lying and wrong. Yeah, Moon goes into Virgo, and then my first transit will be Moon 6th having Mercury in Slams. All right, so we're speaking to the Moon going into Virgo. First, yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's a slapper, no doubt.
Wow. Did I miss 2 testimonies that quick?
I don't think so.
From Benjamin.
Did I skip over one?
Mercury sextile, Lunar sextile Mercury, Lunar trine Mars, and now we're at.
Yeah, I was waiting to see the that Moon in Virgo before
got.
Yeah, because it's not like an aspect, but I don't want to speak on the transit then and then get into the Moon sextile Mercury. Because that was on. Yeah, but here we go. Right here. Oh, wait, there we go. This is it. The Moon in the first house.
Hold on. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah,
That's it. See.
All right. Yeah, and then that's still Mercury is still tiling that in the first and first and 11th, if I'm correct. Indeed. All right. So right now, guys, this is July 3rd, 2022. This is 800 hours and 31 minutes and 6 seconds. This is the day of the sun. This is the hour of Mercury on the rise. We have a sun ruled sign. We have a Leo ruled sign. We have a Leo sign that is ruled by the sun. You know what I mean? At 14 degrees, 17 minutes. And that ruler is going into the 11th house, shining light on the group next to the messenger Mercury. But we're here to talk about aspect would be the moon ingressing into the sign of Virgo, a fixed earth sign, 0 degrees Virgo, 0 minutes in the first house of self. So we're going to be fixed in our nature here. The self is going to be fixed. You came from mutable earth. Mutable earth. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Mutable earth. Even you were in fixed fire in Leo. Now you're mutable earth. Now you're feeling, more frisky, because you're organized now. Mutable earth. So you're organizing, earthly things now. So you'll still be quote unquote fixed in natures. You'll be like flexible fixed. Is that a thing? Do we respect flexible fixed? Is that a thing? Yeah, no. All right. But we'll get into a moon sign Mercury. And I'll give my testimony to a harmonious flow in one's creative ideas flowing for the creation of whatever the heart is desiring to create. Communication with young children is grand at this moment. Mommy and children play day. Ideas about the children can be sparked here as well. Communication is bliss. So write and create from the purest part of your corazón. And that's what I have for the moon sextile in Mercury. With the moon there the moon is still on the edge of stuff. Stuff is like just beginning you're just making. I see like a lot of things are on the edge of the lines. You see Jupiter there, Saturn, Pluto, Moon, Venus, Uranus right there. Yeah, like putting your best foot forward. Everything is like putting your handle on the door going into the next phase of life. So, you know what I mean? So you have a harmonious aspect going into whatever you want to create right here. Moon being in Leo here. I think it's supposed to be in Virgo. But yeah, Moon sextiling Mercury. Smooth communication.
So that ingress happens after these two aspects.
Yeah, and I want to say there's a board of course moon. Or am I getting ahead of myself? Oh, that's my next one.
You got Moon, Trine, Mars next, and then
of course.
Yeah, which is your moon going into Virgo. It's like you did a time warp type thing.
Board, of course, starts at 5:59, according to my calendar, in the AM.
This Moon Trine Mars. Moon Trine Mars is the moon's last aspect in Leo. Yeah.
And so 9 minutes after sunrise is when, according to the Baltimore Corporation, 9 minutes after sunrise is when the board, of course, begins. If I'm saying that.
When the sunlight, yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Which is kind of like good, because like you shouldn't be like, I don't know, get something. Like go past that convenience store you go past because it made the line maybe long or something like that. You know, I'm curious to see now because I want to say I'll be up during that time too. I'll definitely be up. Yeah, I'll definitely be up at this time at 5. What? No, I won't be there, but I'm curious. But we're getting into moon trine.
I had to use the bathroom.
Yeah, moon trine Mars. All right. And the moon is where? Third house of communications. They're in Leo. Is the moon supposed to be in Virgo or?
That's a time warp thing you did. You went ahead of time, and then you went back.
Okay. So has the moon ingressed Leo? So the moon hasn't ingressed Virgo yet.
No.
Wow. Islam.
Islam.
All right, moon trine Mars at 0500 hours and 59 minutes, giving testimony to this beautiful trine between one's emotions and feelings pertaining to the children values that are connected to the mother, having and taking pride in securing career matters, even if there needs to be cutting ties in order to expand and thrive and shine like the Leo moon seeks to do. Use this transit to springboard yourself into making and thinking the correct choices to ultimately secure the values for children, security, and nourishment. It's land. At the time when I was, I want to say delineating that, it was like the like in the first, and and Jupiter, Mars, and Chiron were in the 10th, and the moon was in the 2nd. So yeah, that's why I was speaking about nourishment and the children and the. I mean, so you have to like slice or leave to expand Jupiter. So that setting could be like healing, but like, all right, kind of sucks to leave that place, but you're leaving to grow for your children in the 2nd house or for the children in the 2nd house. You know what I mean? So that's when I was speaking about, cutting and expanding in the career matters, you know what I'm saying? So once again, as mother, cleaning house seems like she's making sure like I'm gonna make sure it was good for my babies. You know what I mean? Or this is what I see, or I see with the moon being in Leo, outside of it being the ego wanting to be seen and your feelings and, the feeling of being, or being isolated. Because across from Leo, you have the group Aquarius, so the moon is, isolated by itself, but on a higher degree, mother and children, as well, and finances and the resources and the inheritance on the other side with Saturn there as well. So Saturn is still in reflection to the moon as she does her 10th house matter with the Saturn ruled house as well. So she's making sure her status is correct while she's, going into these places, making sure her affairs are in order. And status plays a lot when you're talking about your affairs, and that's what Saturn does. And I would yield for the moon trining Mars. Intense direct will And when I say intense, I don't mean like, just knowing what you want intense, being attentive in what you do, coming through the door knowing. And sometimes that can be very intenseful feeling when someone knows them. So, and at some point, the moon will be in Virgo. And it is, and it is now.
So you were seeing like Luna ingressing Virgo, like for your testimonies from near your location, a certain way. Like what was it?
Well, to answer your wisdom, was in the 6th house in Virgo, and I was just waiting for it to be in Virgo, and I was like, all right. I saw it in Virgo and from the calendar, and that was the moon ingressing into Virgo from Mars, moon trine Mars. But like Brother Jack said, I didn't just like hop over that and like, hey guys, we are in a fixed Earth. Moon is like mutable Earth.
Come on.
So now the moon is in the first house.
From fixed fire to Earth.
Fixed fire, mutable Earth. Is that cool?
Yeah. From fixed fire to mutable Earth. Leo is fixed fire. Yeah, mutable.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're in the mutable Earth from fixed fire. So now we're more organized in what we're doing instead of going through the door, getting which hour. It's like not really listening, just going straight forward. Like the sun, it's direct heat. It's like it's just coming in, shining, flying out. But Mercury, it's mutable. It's genderless. We know what gender is, but when we speak about genderless, you can go in multiple assets of literature, multiple assets of music, those type of things. Genderless in your thinking. You know what I mean? So right now, that's what you'll be. You'll be basically an X-Men. You'll be, what is that? The lizard that camouflages. That you become a chameleon almost if you use it correctly, because you can become a chameleon. Yeah, a chameleon in diverse situations. But Saturn is still in reflection to the moon, so you could be crawling up in a corner and just be overwhelmed in what you have to organize within yourself, and your health as well. So you could be overwhelmed about the things that were that was quote unquote, I was thinking about my health and I was like, putting off, that is now arriving now. Not that the situation getting worse, just the thoughts about the situation. You know what I mean? Because it all is mind. So it has to start here and then you start going wild. So basically the moon going into Virgo, a mutable Earth, organize wisely. Don't overwhelm yourself. It's like a plate of food. You don't just try to take it all in down at one time. You know what I mean? My brother's son was telling us about the mango and the banana, that's manna, at like one time. But if you got like a plate of something, you got some beans here, you got some greens here, you got a bread here, you got something over here, you're gonna use the fork, pace yourself. You're gonna try to do it at one time. That's what I would say with the moon ingressing into Virgo. Don't try to do it all at one time, and I'll yield.
Oh, pardon me. And phone. I think I am up next. Correct? I think I'm up next, right? For the moon day. Oh, my beloved brother, whom I'm well pleased, is on it, brother Terrell Tamari Day. Has me already at sunrise, right? 0500 hours, 50 minutes, and 13 seconds, right? We're having a solar ascendant conjunction there at that time, right? And Luna is clearly in her joy, right? Third house is joy, right? Along with her lot. She's in, you already know, because the sun's going to be conjunct the ascendant, so part of fortune is going to be conjunct Luna. In Luna's joy, looky, astro cookie, in the sign that's 3 places from where the moon actually rules. So moon in Virgo is enjoying being able to communicate securely those things, so being able to securely communicate those things in a way where the details will be compartmentalized in a fashion where ones could actually allow themselves to bring to the forefront the security necessary for the entire collective. For example, Luna would be Brother Hassan, the Virgo would be Brother Sean, right? The third house would be Brother Terrell, reflecting the ninth house, which would be Brother Corey, right? And they're manning in exaltation kind of fashion by accidental dignity would be Brother Benjamin, right? That's the sun, right? They're at the first house cusp, right? So even looking at that right there, the collective overall protection, so to speak, for 7HealStar Astrology Firm, there's a very fortunate and joyful dispositorship that is occurring here that will allow us to see that the self-fascination and denial with the start pertaining to 7HealStar, what can be actually seen in this moment, just as an example. This will be for any collective group that's out there. However, just saying, just using us as the example, we'll be able to see not only the value in the seed, however, the value in the seeds that are within the fruit that is now the brothers that are 7HealStar Astrology Firm. So Luna there is really ruling how, you can ascend with your family, quote unquote, and or chosen family, and really bring out the joy and those things that are fortunate so that you can be able to ascend, not just for yourself, however, for the community, because the community thrives, we thrive. With that, I yield the floor. My first testimony is, and it's not that far behind, obviously, because Luna's at 10 degrees, right? So there's going to be a solar lunar sextile that's occurring, all right? There's a solar lunar sextile that is occurring. And with that solar lunar sextile that's occurring, that we can clearly see that it's occurring at 0903 minutes thereafter for the 4th of July, right? This is termed Independence Day. One would think, oh, the heliacal rising to Sirius. It's about, as you can see, almost 13 degrees. 12 and a half, right? Degrees for the sun. What we can actually see, though, however, is that actually the heliacal rising for Sirius is going to actually happen when the sun's at about 21 degrees. Leo, 12th August 2022, that's when the heliacal rising in Sirius is actually occurring. From what I've researched so far briefly, we just wanted to see, hey, man, let's just kind of just Google it real quick, just double check. However, Egyptian New Year is also termed, you're going to read some literature also for July there. So 38 days prior to when the heliacal rising is happening. So very interesting number, 38, 11, that's the spiritual number, right? And the sun is actually in the sign that is pertaining to the Great Seal Trinity. Great Seal Water Trinity Cancer, Scorpio Pisces. Sol is there sporting it at a 333 fashion, 12 degrees, right? 1 + 2 is 3 at 33 minutes, right? Rocking it in the 11th house during this time that Luna is sextile. What do you know? So look at Luna there, still in the first house, right? Rocking it bouncer style at the front door of club second house, right? And just really allowing itself to really just check the identities of those that are thinking they are going to get past the detailed transit that is Luna in Virgo. So with that just being said in a, proverbially comedic fashion, also at a 333 energy, right? What we can actually see within the sextile, there's a growth opportunity in how we're going to go about allowing ourselves to be very creative in how humorous we're being, right? 21 degrees Leo is comedy, correct? That's where the ascendant is during this transit. So that's why I cracked a little jokey joke about the moon playing bouncer. However, let's really look at this in terms of actors playing roles on the stage. The moon is the actor, correct? Hey, Luna, look at you being the home actor. However, you have to act out the script pertaining to service. So this home service is being acted out in the self stage, the self arena, still first house, while I'm still standing there at the front door, at the threshold for the second house. So really standing close to our values and how we're making sure we're allowing our subconscious mind to secure the details when it pertains to ourselves while allowing ourselves to grow. Right, especially in opportunities where we can really have our hearts really tie into principles that we have learned from grandmother, from mother, maybe some other form of being that was like the head of household, preferably female, however, also used their, abilities of being, I guess, sort of kind of masculine or tomboyish. This woman, but however, they were able to instill some values that allow the entire family to be able to not just be, receivers of nourishment, but also quote unquote hunter gatherer kind of energy. So now that there's this well spirited way in using ingenuity in the hands and building things to be able to really shine a light on how the home will be secured for the kindred, for the kith and kin, so to speak, as well as also making sure while being in sextile with Luna, who's ruling over the 12th house clearly, while Sol is ruling the first house, we're really allowing some way for that to allow ourselves within ourselves, even being around our loved ones. We're able to kind of astral travel into a, esoteric ashram by being able to provide that service necessary, reflecting that which is there pertaining to, Saturn setting at this time, as well as Pluto being there at the cusp pertaining to the 6th house, which is reflecting what's going on there for Cancer's rulership there for the 12th. So being very hospitable, how we're going to be in making sure, standing close to our values while really just presenting ourselves in a fashion that is allowing ourselves to share our hearts to our loved ones, being able to communicate, our status. It's almost like, how people may see you out there amongst your peers, your loved ones, within will be able to get that same glimpse. So you won't be the proverbial Jesus doing the least amount of miracles in your own hometown. Here, you'll be able to do miracles at home. With that, I yield the floor. I have a lunar Venusian quartile. After this, at approximately 1100 hours, 37 minutes thereafter. 1100 hours, 37 minutes, and 19 seconds for the 4th of July, 2022. Still moon day here, alrighty? So we're rocking Luna in the 12th house, right? So she has risen, right? So Luna's there, 13 degrees, knocking on the door, if I'm not mistaken, of the, is it 14th lunar mansion? 16th lunar mansion. I know 14 degrees is Christian ministers. So I know we're like knocking on the door right there. 14th lunar mansion. Pardon me, I keep saying 14th lunar mansion. 14 degrees for Christian ministers. Right, very interestingly, Prophet Ali expresses some of my good Moors are still in the church. Church is a German for circle, Kirk. Sometimes when you see a C period before a year, that C means circa, C-I-R-C. It's another way of saying Kirk, but circa, right? So now, with that being said, hey, check it out. We are allowing ourselves to really minister. How are we ministering? Well, we're ministering in a fashion where we're really overcoming the obstacles and things that we may have valued or may have misvalued in how we're communicating the things that were actually learned. And, we wanted to do this type of thing that we were interested in, but hey, we need to improve and go further, maybe build even more, maybe go to, a conference to get the values pertaining to that which you need for your destiny in life. And now that you're going on this erudite destiny and you're allowing yourself to really have the values pertaining to, the techniques in your destiny. So the techniques in your destiny are being communicated to you, and you really need to really see that you are really allowing the values to be poured out there. And really the publishings that are pertaining to some things that, maybe from your childhood, some things that you're going to see, maybe you'll see some letters, some books, maybe you may remember a certain book that you liked from when you were a child. And now you're able to take some simple nursery rhyme type book or story, or maybe something from your quote unquote childhood. And now you're able to really apply those values, so to speak, utilize those values in the way that you go about your world affairs. You are now allowing yourself to be able to interact and travel abroad in a fashion that you're allowing your destiny to be a very fortunate one, because what's being communicated is that which is necessary for you to be able to value what balances, right? What really balances those active tendencies that, really are ideal in the things that you want to inherit, especially for those of you that are really actively into inheriting what Prophet Ali has shared with you. I know I'm kind of getting into the 8th house of Mars there at the prophetic degree. However, I'm just really, reflecting that with Luna squaring Venus, because we're able to get over the obstacle and really, allowing ourselves in this, subconscious isolation. We're able to really level up. It's like, yes, butterflies flying. However, this is a means to really let whatever the first meal you had, really let it digest, really go into that place where you're away from predators, so to speak, butterfly. So you can let that meal digest, because you're going to have a prophetic flight on your next flight. Alrighty, with that, I yield the floor. I have a lunar Plutonian trine here also. Lunar Plutonian trine. 1900 hours. 22 minutes roughly. And the lunar Plutonian trine, trine near the Baltimore Corporation, Maryland State Republic.
Uranus.
Pardon me? What did you say, bro?
That's Uranus.
Pardon me, Uranus. Exactly. I said Pluto, didn't I? Goodness gracious. Thank you for the correction, bro. Lunar trine to Uranus. Perdoneme. So we have a lunar Uranian trine. So with that being said, I really just botched that, didn't I? So put the circle at the bottom to the top. All right. So, however, without further ado, and accepting my brother's correction here, we have Luna trine Uranus. All right. So now we're really looking at the harmony between really the way that we are securing ourselves, right? Where are we sitting at home, and how are we really allowing ourselves to make changes in a fashion that's not, disharmonically rebellious, so to speak. It'll be a harmonious rebellion, which is just a renovation, a home renovation. So when I see Uranus and Luna trine, I immediately think home renovation. People are doing things like rearranging furniture. Now let's see where it's taking place. Luna is clearly still in the 9th house, right? 17 degrees Virgo, 54 minutes in the 9th house, and Uranus 17 degrees Taurus, 54 minutes already in the 5th. Luna is 5th from the 5th. So in the creative position away from the collective creativity. So in a center stage fashion, the overall subconscious mind of people are really having a means in, allowing their foreign affairs in detail to be creative in the sense that, people are finding different avenues, so to speak, or other ways of trading amongst one another. Being able to take things that are things that they built, maybe things that they've put together and compiled, and now that's being utilized as a currency, so to speak, to be able to assist other people with the things that it is that you have. They may be into a certain specific topic of study, and you may have some tools that allow them to expand that topic of study so that they can continue to grow their study and allow their students to have a further experience in that. So that's what this would be here, allowing mother to allow herself to grow by taking what is shared with her and being able to see the beauty in it, and maybe mother really finding the value of technology a little further by allowing things shared with her to allow her to transform how it is that she goes about her endeavors in teaching others, sharing information with others. So with that being said, this is actually taking place, like I said, 5th and 9th house. I mean, it's just really amazing to see how we are really just creating an erudite environment. So this is like not the schoolhouse rock. So you guys may be finding yourselves having an augmented online learning experience. And with that, I yield the floor to my beloved brother in whom I am well pleased, Brother Terrell Tamari Day, Islam. Grab the helm here.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at the 5th of July. Yes. So it's the 5th of July. Looking at the sunrise, of course, right? So yeah, this is like a day of initiation and celebration, so to speak. And also, just not really overindulging. Uprooting the whole routine, so to speak, just finding a new way to get things started, so to speak. Like I said, breaking the routine. But what we're going to look at first is Mars ingressing into Taurus, right? So, literally relative to what I just said, this is the time to find the beauty and patience and like taking your time or not moving so fast. Not being so moved by, things that usually move you, so to speak. Again, finding the beauty in being patient and taking your time. It's like slow and steady wins the race, so to speak. The turtle versus the hare. It's like Mars and Taurus, right? So it's just finding the beauty in that, so to speak. I'm going to yield on that Mars and Taurus. And really being more resourceful, though, innovating and finding out how to utilize the things that are around you. Again, instead of thinking you need to go outside to get the things that you have or the things that you want, so to speak. And then another ingress that we have is Mercury going into Cancer, right? So, Mars and Mercury are working together now, right? That's a sextile, right? So, right, we're really finding the beauty again in the things that we have, certain abilities and talents that we have. So now we're taking more diligent effort and, getting better at it, so to speak, really being diligent in our affairs and being sincere and taking the next step to really find out how to, really be of service to oneself and, the ones closest to you, so to speak, and collectively at large, so to speak. Could be, some inheritances going around here. Someone could, want to invest in you, so to speak, within your scientific abilities or some literature that you may be thinking about producing, or some child book that you may be connecting with. It's very possible.
May I ask
Or
you?
reward, maybe. Go ahead, bro.
I was looking at the times how Mars ingresses Taurus, and 21 minutes later, Mercury ingresses Cancer. So yes, I'm thinking already. I was thinking in my head, wow, a sextile is growing. Then look, 12 minutes later, there's the sextile. 21, 12. That's a palindrome in numbers, bro. 204 is a 6. 225 is a 9. 237 is a 3. Like, are we seeing this, or am I bugging?
It's super significant. So this is really like, again, that blast to the past thing. It's like recognizing the jewels that the elders were speaking about years ago, so to speak. Right. So now we got what are we looking at? Yeah, June 21st. We went back. Oh no, we went ahead. That's 2024.
Pardon me, I had one too many. Oh, pardon me. Forward. Really? They just did that. Bruh. Why is this bugging? Hold on. This does say 60, doesn't it? The next one. I didn't get that far in the future, bro. I didn't even hit it that many times. I think we're there.
Got you.
I realized that. I was looking at the year. I'm like, bro, that says 2024, bro.
Yeah, word.
I jumped that far. However, I think we're here.
Islam, yeah. So Mercury's in the 2nd, right? And Mars is in the 12th. Yeah. So this is just a whole reprocess of how you communicate with yourself. Things that you indulge in, so to speak. Certain again literary arts. With this Mercury in Cancer, because being moved by emotion, so to speak, or certain things that are said, that realization is taking a format, because Mars and Mercury are having that little relationship. So it's like Mars being in the 12th, it's like you're seeing how certain things you may need to separate yourself from, or certain mental concepts that may be, good for you or bad for you, but that's subjective though, just using those terms to make it concrete for the, common people. Right. So just really getting, again, comfortable with patience, so to speak. Mercury is you're taking your time to really think about what you say, and not being so moved by someone's words, so to speak, which would be Mercury, and then Cancer would be the emotions, right? And then Mars and Taurus, like you're taking your time before you speak or before you react to whatever is the situation. And also, this could be, just a good time to really get into the arts, seeing more beauty in it, and how you can, take advantage of, again, your talents and what you naturally are gifted at. And you're expounding on it with diligence and steadiness, and being, practical and taking your time, rather than trying to move so fast and not really thinking about what you're doing, so to speak. All right. So then we got next aspect. Brother Corey's going in. Moon opposed. Wow, that's funny. And this was bro talking about Moon opposed Neptune though, right? So this is falsehood is rectified here, so to speak. And it's very, very clear, so to speak, because again, like I was saying earlier, that knowledge or that wisdom that was bestowed upon us, from the elders before, it's starting to make sense now. We kind of get why certain things were said, so to speak, in all sort of aspects. A lot of uncanny, energies may be coming out again with the falsehoods and all of the confusion, so to speak, with the murky waters or looking to take advantage of the weak, so to speak. All of those things are being, highlighted, within oneself and, externally, and basically focus or preoccupation, so to speak. Certain things you may be focused on or preoccupied on. What is the benefit of that? All of those things are coming to the forefront, so to speak. The things that are moving you, so to speak, emotionally, getting you all anxious and nervous, which would be Virgo, anxiety and nervous system, not really knowing how to control oneself. So emotional stability will be proper to get into if you are unaware of, what your emotions are and how they differ and how they sway, move around. So, really, it's a good time to watch a good film, possibly too, so you won't be so, emotionally driven, so to speak, or emotionally controlled, so to speak. But this is just throughout that day, not really around this time. I would say journal specifically around this time. Let your thoughts out. Listen to some classical music. Just relax, Zen mode, so to speak. And just really transform that routine, so to speak. And go back to your ancient foremothers and forefathers mindset. Really know what that's about. Who are you? That's a question that you should want to know or answer. Right? So the moon's gonna oppose Trine, Pluto, right? Moon trine Pluto, that's my next aspect. And so now, this is really just that, like I was saying earlier, connecting with tradition or repelling tradition. So now this is that formality, relative to whatever side you're on. You're seeing, who you are, so to speak. What is the service or the purpose that you're here for? So now, based on your consanguinity and how that's set up, there's certain realizations that may be unsettling, and there may be certain things that you may have to, change, within your own mindset and mentality. So certain things can be removed from your bloodline in general, in regards of what's not healthy, so to speak. So now we're at a point of eradicating, what's not healthy, so to speak. Collectively speaking, and again, also internalize like what is best for you. Who do you really relate with, and what brings you that heartfelt love, so to speak, without any tit for tat, so to speak, relationships or even concepts or thoughts. Like all of that is just, it's all crumbling down, so to speak, so you can see it clearly. Right. So it's best to really just, be open to transforming what you are used to, really be like a child again, so to speak. Open yourself up to the things that you were sort of afraid of at a point. Face your fears. so you can get to the next level pertaining to how you feel, rather than how people want you to feel based off their hypnosis or certain things that they may say, so to speak, right? All of that is all subjective, so make it fit where it fits. And with that, I'll yield the floor. I think the moon goes void. Moon goes void for like 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Correct.
So again, don't spend your finances between those times. Be mindful, control your emotions and whatnot. So the moon's going into Libra. Yep, in the 9th house. So we're learning our foreign languages and whatnot, possibly. Or what seems to be foreign, it's foreign because of the program that we've all been brought up into, so to speak, for the most part. So just again, getting connected to ecclesiastical law, civil law, universal law, all of those things are concrete now with this moon in Libra and the 9th. So now it's like we're bringing the philosophies down to the collective at large, or the philosophies are hitting the collective at large and they finally get it, and they're done debating over religious or dogmas. They're done debating over dogmatic formulas, so to speak, right? Eradicating dogmatic formulas. Moon and Libra. Yeah. Venus and Gemini, right? Yeah. So, just really, writing down and formulating new processes and schools of thought for, the collective at large. Again, getting back to the tradition, keeping the foundation, and expanding on the foundation, building buildings on top of the foundation, buildings on top of buildings, so to speak. Moon in Libra in the 9th house. I yield. Islam,
and here you go. Yeah, that was that. Did I miss Lunar and Mercury? Did I miss?
No. So Luna in the 8th house now, right? 1 degree 33 minutes in Libra, right? Square, right? Square 90 degrees. Indeed. Mercury is in Cancer in the 5th, right? So yeah, again, we're just the blast to the past, right? We're figuring out how to, possibly change certain things that we may have inherited, like Brother Hassan was speaking on earlier. Like there's certain things that we may have inherited through, our bloodline that we may need to transform, so we can, get out of that program, or release that program that we've all been, succumbed to, so to speak. And certain things or relationships or certain entertainment processes or certain things that you used to love to do really may have to be cut out to really get to that next level of clarity or self-indulgence, so to speak. Not indulging into things that really doesn't uplift the self, so to speak. That's that moon square Mercury realization. Because there just could be certain things going in within where you think you're comfortable, and it's not much comfortability there, and it's just like a psychosomatic thing going on, and it's not for the positive outlook, or to keep things active in emotion, right? It's more so lethargic and uneasy inertia. It's not moving. So it's best to just get it moving and not, succumb to the inertia, right, of someone else's life or thoughts, being, who the being wants you to be, right? Don't be who they want you to be. What'd you say, bro?
Say that again.
I don't know which part. What did I?
I mean, at this point, our international colleagues, man, are just, the so-called number one go-to medical astrologer is recognizing us, man, and the national cosmic the National Council for Geocosmic Research. Like, what can we say at this point, bro? That's what Brother Corey is tripping about right now, like in our Instagram group that, you know, Brother Benjamin has shared that, you know, someone that I had the opportunity to meet at a National Council for Geocosmic Research, Baltimore Astrology Society, you know, workshop. One of the go-to medical astrologers or whatever. And you already know, shout out to Mother Rashida Bey for preparing us years in advance for what it is that we're experiencing right now. But that's, like Brother Corey said, that's a compliment. So I can only comment now back in this group, this astrology.
Do not spoil it for me, please. Please do not spoil it. Do not spoil it.
All right, I ain't gonna front, man. At this point, like Shorty, that's, I mean, yeah, it's
don't do it.
Yeah, I don't even get into like internet stuff, but I was like, nah, man, I ain't even like, you know what I mean? I was like, come on, man, not my bro, like, man. I'm like, whoa. I was like, that's kind of, hold up, all right, brothers, how do you? Am I tripping? That doesn't look like that.
Bruh, I mean, not only did she put the link, like it's me and Brother Sean's presentation from yesterday, right? And then there's the, you know, the website. I can't really knock it.
But it was like mad improv, though.
80 love, but it's all good. I'm not knocking it because I still gave her the literature when I met her back in 2020. February 22nd, 2020 was when I met this world-renowned medical astrologer. And like I said, I still have her. I have her presentation that she did that day. I have it right here on me. That's even more beautiful. I have her presentation here. And you know, I remember when I went to that workshop and the former president, Joni, so shout out to Joni, you know, if she's still with us. She's the former president of Baltimore Astrology Society. So it's just amazing just to see, man, you know, a couple years of, you know, it's seemingly like I'm agitating people. I'm just not going to play black guy. I'm not Sambo. I'm not going to shine and Bojangle. All righty. I'm not black guy. I'm Moorish American. My status is white. Live with it, black people. And when I say black people, I mean the pale skins, just like her. She's a pale skin. She's a black woman. I know you guys probably don't want to hear that. If you got copper tone skin and you still want that I'm black shit, look, stop it, please. Because you're really lying on yourself. So you like that. You can't be what they are. The pale skins are the black people. So shout out to the real niggers out there that are, I'm just gonna keep it because I'm talking about troglodyte. I'm not being mean. Because the troglodyte nigger is that which we mixed, you know, our genes with the chimpanzee. So shout out to you guys out there, the real black people. Like, I really appreciate you because you're just really assisting us in revealing the history. You can say that, you know, what it is needs editing and things like that. You know, it is what it is, but, you know, let's just give credit where credit is due. You know, those that are Anthropopithecus, the troglodyte nigger, is the being that was called or termed the Missy lineage. Just look, man, we already know those experiments happen at Patagonia. That's why people try to make Patagonia the most expensive camping gear right now, as far as the you know, sales of, you know, clothing and apparel world. Well, why is it so expensive? Well, because it's a clue that that's where experiments happen. To be able to get what you call, you know, the black people that are falsely called white, Caucasian, right? But those are the black people. It's just that you guys have been living this Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy trading places thing for so long here that, you know, you allow yourselves to get offended when what I'm even saying right now, you know, I would dare someone in one of these astrological societies to go, oh, how rude. He called her a real nigger. Like, I'm duh. Why would I lie? I'm not about to sit here and I'm not being mean. I'm not talking hood shit here. I'm speaking science. All righty. The real black people are the pale skin. My brothers, anyone here want to correct me? Just like how when I said, you know, Luna trine Pluto and it was Luna trine Uranus, and Brother Terrell corrected me, and you guys know, please, if I need to lick my lips or there's a boogie on my nose, please hand me shea butter and a Kleenex. All righty. Like, so that's what bro just did. So here's your opportunity again to correct me here. I'll take that silence as an acquiescence and agreement. So it's saying, are you laughing?
You said what?
I said, are you laughing there? Okay, well, I guess I'll just take that as a continued then.
Like that Rick Ross idols become rivals. I don't know if you ever heard that Rick Ross from you. It's like, I used to look up to you, nigga, but nigga. I mean, so at some point, you didn't look up to you as far as like, you know, the skill set. You were like, wow, you know, forget the pale vessel. You're like, man, I used to look up to you, nigga. Now it's like, idols become rivals at this point. We were. Now it's like, but when you say nigga now, it's like, wow, it's like it really fits now. It's kind of funny. Maybe nigga.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Because you guys know when I went into these astrological societies, especially this major conference, this international conference for astrological business, and you know, I could have played, you know, tap dancing guy. However, anytime something was done, you know, I'm going to be more American wherever I go, and I'm be more American for real. You know, because a lot of times when people get into disagreements because they're not getting their way. And I'm not disagreeing because I wasn't getting my way. I was disagreeing because the way that people were having their way within these astrological societies, that's why, you know, with my experience now, the only sincere astrologers are those that are Moorish American, because we are not playing color games. We're not color people. We're not saying that there's a color to us. Our status is white, yes. However, that has nothing to do with our nationality. And if you're an astrologer out there and you're using pronouns and you're using color stuff, hey guys, hey, I love to break it to you, you're a fucking liar, respectfully. So let's stop lying, because we're supposed to be in harmony with nature, being practitioners pertaining to the cosmos. Alrighty? Being sincere astro-masons here, then let's do it. For all the other people that are doing, you know, the charlatan stuff, you just, oh, I know tarot and astrology, and I game it. Look, whatever, like, look, the whole, you know, galactic, you know, economy that's going on here, and people need to eat, not just across this planet, but across other galaxies. You guys really think it's a fucking game? I'm talking some sci-fi shit. I'm not fucking around here, respectfully saying. So there are some things that we are to be learning and incorporating so we can be sharp now, so that we can be able to be consistent, making sure there are perpetual things that we must have and need to have. So let me respond to her. First of all, I tagged her, and I'm going to say gratitude indeed for the suggestion, my daughter, because all the pale skins are our sons and daughters. For the suggestion, my beloved daughter in whom I'm well pleased. Let me do that. My beloved daughter in whom I'm well pleased. But she's in her 70s. I don't give a fuck. She's still my daughter. Let's fix this here. My beloved daughter in whom I am well pleased. All right. Have a graceful and productive cycle. Enjoy your studies. Peace be unto you. Brother Corey is just like, goodness gracious, man. I had no idea that he send messages so fast. He's in a time portal, bro. He's like the pistol shrimp with like the messages right now. He's sending them, creating a pocket.
Little bubble is going right
now. What you say?
So I'm watching the bubble cook right now.
I know, right? For real, man. The hotter, 4,000 times hotter than the sun.
And you want me to jump into this one, Brother Terrell? I saw you like set it up, not to like tour. I saw you got the 6 up there. I was like, finish this.
Yeah, it's on you. It's on you.
As a astrology. Okay. You got any more edits? You got to get to, or could I just go into it?
Nah, you're good, man. Go ahead, brother. Brother Terrell's got it. Yeah, because I was over here just going in. So thank you, brother. Thanks, brother Jay. I yield the brother.
I appreciate it, bro. Wednesday, not today though. July 6th, 2022, 500 hours, 51 minutes, and 20 seconds. Day of Mercury, hour of Mercury. A lot of communication going on. On the rise here in Baltimore, 14 degrees Cancer, 20 minutes, and that is ruled by Luna there on the cusp of the 4th, just going into the home, you know what I mean? Or just like here, we would be reading it, it would be going, you know, into the 3rd. But, you know, if we're looking at it, you know, it's going to the 4th. But here, it's located in the 4th house, so say just in the 4th house next to the part of fortune. You know what I'm saying? My first delineation is that's food like fly up. Luna in reflection to Jupiter for 913 minutes. And my brother Terrell has that set up for us here. And we have Jupiter there sitting in the 8th, 7 degrees Aries, 55 minutes. And they're in reflection in the 2nd house of values and our finances. We have Luna at 7 degrees Libra at 55 minutes. And in my testimony here for the reflection for the 2 planets there, over the Moon and Jupiter. Give me testimony for and relationships, and use those ideas about these topics to see the truth and high learning in it all to come to self-overstanding. Don't be too forceful in how you express your truth when presenting with someone else's school pertaining to their thought. Allow Luna to put the grand thoughts on the scale of justice to weigh out the truth. So basically, right here, you're going to weigh out, you know, your finances and your inheritances. You know what I mean? You seem to have gotten a chunk of change with Jupiter there in the 8th house. So it's like, what do I do with all this abundance that I've you know, inherited? Because it's in the 8th house. It's confusing because you have Neptune there, but Neptune isn't like conjunct as close to Jupiter. So, you know, you're going to be not as confused about this. So it's really just how are you feeling emotionally about the finances you have and the abundance. How are you gonna properly inherit that abundance? But since the Moon is in Libra, you'll have the sound mind and the balance to do so. You'll think about this and think about that, and then you'll come to a sound conclusion to adjudicate your 8th house endeavors. You know what I mean? So basically, right here, finishing up the Moon in reflection to Jupiter, just balancing out your finances and your savings. You know what I mean? So just to double check it out, how are my finances and my savings looking, and how am I emotionally feeling about that? You know what I mean? So don't operate from your set of bank account. Just use what you have as a tool. You know what I mean? Kind of like a spoon. It's always gonna be utilized as a spoon, whether you like mad, sad, happy, anything. You know what I mean? So look at your finances the same way. Don't be emotionally attached to them. You know what I mean? Just put them on the scale, weigh it out, and adjudicate. And you for the Moon reflection. So we got that Sun square Moon. Same one right here. And this would be my.
Let's see here. Luna square Sun at 22. Yeah, you're good. You're set, brother.
All right. July 6th again, 2022, 2200 hours, 13 minutes, 58 seconds, 2 minutes away from 2214. Day of Mercury, hour of Mercury on the rise, 15 degrees, 48 minutes. That ruler is right there. Saturn, 24 degrees, Aquarius, 27 minutes, retrograde. But we're here to talk about the Sun, which is in the 5th house, its home and creativity, and the sign of Cancer being ruled by the Moon, which is in square. So we'll go up to the 8th house and look at the Moon at 14 degrees Libra, 59 minutes. So we're speaking about our creativity and our inheritance. So how are we feeling about, you know, our inheritance and the creativity today? So right now it's children and mother again. So I'm seeing how is mother behind the scenes, seeing those inheritances that is for the nurturing and the caretaking of her children and her home. The Sun would be, you know, the nurturing for the home, the heating of the home, you know, to keep it comfortable, because no one wants a quote unquote cold home. You know what I mean? You need that life in there. The Sun brings life. So the mother is behind the scenes balancing things so that the children can keep getting that sustainable life that they need in life. And I'll give my testimony to one's ego and personality and conflict with one's feelings and security when it comes to home securities and possible health assences as well. When it comes to a loved one in a foreign location, seeking a relationship or a type of balance that will serve justice to the loved one. Get the information needed for proper assistance with Aquarius on the rise. What information you get, you utilize, will be used for others as well, such as humanity itself. So have proper security for balancing the measure. So what you do, what I'm speaking from, the planets were in the 9th and the 6th house. So I was thinking about service and foreign land. That's why I was speaking about that for my location. So you are in a foreign place looking for, information that could service you, in the 6th house, because the sun would be in Cancer in the 6th house. You know what I mean? So you went to the 6th house, probably get help. So you had to go a little further to the 9th house, you know what I'm saying, to actually get further help on top of that, to assist yourself, in your home. So it'll go from the 9th, the 6th, to the 4th. You know what I mean? Because the sun is in the Cancer sign, and the Cancer is 4th home, in the 4th. So basically, don't overwhelm yourself with the answers that you may not be getting according to the service and the higher learning. Or for Baltimore, this would be your inheritance and your creativity. So you're going to find what you need pertaining to Baltimore when seeking the justice for your children and an inheritance and such. And I'll yield for that, for the sun in conjunction, for the sun square moon. Don't get overwhelmed for your ego and your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. All right.
And we just had a new moon, so this is the start as well. So like the sun, like just going into the 6th there, so that's gonna cause nerves. Anything to start new is unclear. So you're gonna be a little butterfly in the stomach. So use that first square of tension as a springboard. Now you.
Mom, let me stop the screen share here.
Proper edits on that.
You good on? All right. All righty, y'all. We'd like to thank you for joining us here, right? Boy, let me bring my bros back, right? I guess there's some times you guys went out, so let me bring back brother Terrell. We can do this in, where's brother Terrell? Boom, like a lot of brother Benjamin, add spotlight. There are my bros. Here we go, right? And bring that to the background here. As what we can see, right? And we want to save this, right? This is where Brother Benjamin had left off at, right? Man, thank you all so much for joining us for our 7-day Tropic Medical Astro Weather Report. My bros, are there any questions, comments, and/or suggestions?
No, just this Friday. Yeah, this Friday, what he does, and we got the chart. I don't want to be like, like a spoiler for you guys. Just come check it out,
You did. What's this Friday, bro? What's this Friday, Benjamin? What did you say?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it, bro.
You can't hold me on that.
Don't say it.
Well,
don't say it.
I've been constantly trying to say what he did.
No.
I have to
say it. Hey, yo.
So yeah, that's announcement. Friday, come check us out on the holy day. We'll be reading over.
What are we presenting?
Representing truth on earth.
What's the source we'll be reading from, Brother Benjamin?
Oh, it's all right. It's okay.
The book would be like the frying pan with the pages on it. So what, you know what I mean? Via YouTube search.
Wow.
Seriously, yeah, come check us out this Friday. As far as the announcement goes. I'll be there as well. I won't be sure.
Yeah, word.
I definitely share like something before doing the prayer. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Here, checking the chat here. Hey, that's Brother R. Muababe. Congrats on the growth and success, Moors. That's what Brother R. That's Bloodline Moors. I think that's Brother R. also. So shout out again to Brother Kualeza. 7 Love 72. And Bloodline Moors was Brother R. Muababe also. So shout out to our bro.
But check out brother music too. Paragon Rico, not
Paragon Rico Music. Guy, really, Paragon Rico Music. I know he's doing some collaborative work with the real Moorish MC. That's Cujo Otto L. Because I don't know what that other one is. That was a little different there. But the only Moorish MC that I recall is Iron Sheik, right? Used to be prime minister at one point in time. And interesting, I thought Brother Jaron was gonna come in and kind of speak briefly about that. Let me actually see if I can get him on the line before. Let's see, get Brother Jaron on the line here. It's like, hey man, we're at the end of our presentation. Did you want to come in and kind of briefly speak on, Hey bro, I sent the link to you, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to come in or not. Like, we're at the end of it now. Did you want to come in and just speak briefly on that? What we were speaking about earlier. It sounds like you went to rest and recharge there, bro. Man, go on, do your thing. We'll discuss it Friday. That way you'll be prepared. If you know what I mean, if you're waiting, we'll discuss it Friday. All right, it's long, bro. Rest well. Peace and love. So with that being said, you guys, really in for a treat Friday. All righty, like seriously in for a treat Friday. So with that being said, schedule your Mirror AstroLiteracy sessions with us. Myself, Brother Terrell Tamari Bay, as well as myself, Brother Terrell Tamari Bay, as well as Brother Corey Bay and Brother Sean Alim L. As you guys can see, like Brother Benjamin is super duper sharp, right? Like super duper sharp with giving his testimonies. You guys see the report stylings and what he's doing. And, he's really just presenting here online for you guys. So when it comes to just solely doing the content creation, Brother Benjamin is really just focusing on just, having you guys get the content that's there that he's sharing on Monday with Brother Sean and on his with I and Brother Terrell. And then on Fridays for the impromptu improv. For us to just be able to sometimes I just don't mind, just us having different things that we are manning the helm with. So because it gives us to relax from other things that we're, that we actually always have to be attentive to. And, so it just makes me feel great to have Mondays and Fridays to be, kind of that Brother Sean, Brother Benjamin, and I like how this is flowing, and Brother Terrell can really work the remote control efficiently, you know what I mean? And we're all remotely somewhere different. So it's just really coming together beautifully, man, to the point where it's going to free me up to be able to do some more things, especially once, after my solar return hits, guys, it's a wrap. I'm just gonna move forward with this thing. I'm just gonna move forward, do what needs to be done, like it is what it is, right? And just make sure we have what we need, man. Like the advertisement things, it's gonna be fun, the promotions, whatever you people want to call it. We're just gonna have fun, right? That's just what we do. So make sure you guys be yourselves and so make sure you guys again make sure you get your readings with Brother Terrell, Brother Corey, Brother Sean for the reports. You got any questions, comments, and or suggestions you just want to ask? I'm pretty sure any of us could answer, including Brother Benjamin. If you guys want to get your readings in Moorish Latin, there's always Senior Jackson Bay. I'm going to have to add him to the website very soon, also as part of the About Us page. So shout out to you, Brother Senior Jackson Bay. And as well as those other Moors, we got some editing to do from the video with Brother Arrow, so see how that's going in the progress there. Soon Brother Arrow will be joining the 7HealStar certified brotherhood, so to speak. And it's really for mothers and sons. It's just, there aren't any mothers that have sincerely come forward and say, you know what, one has. However, she wasn't really interested in being Moorish American first. That's really the prerequisite. Most of the people that are certified here first are going to be, declared and proclaimed nationals. And there's a reason why we have it there. That's why, it's kind of niche oriented how we do things to the collective out there that wouldn't be like that. However, this is the only, a salvation, only soul salvation, right? Soul foundation, for us here. So that's why, I'm setting it properly so that we can all be in our own proper person at law and by inheritance. So, that's just what it is there for me. Any other questions, comments, and or suggestions? Once. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice. Guys, don't forget to get your solar return report, the solar return session and report. Sign up for it, 180 units in lieu of lawful money. It'll be given a session, Brother Sean doing the reports. Guys will not be disappointed. We will go in on your whole year to come, dealing with your solar return up till now. I have to go out in the garden, man. I'm saying, just sitting here looking. Here I come, I'm going out in the garden too. So with that being said, I love my brothers. I love my mothers. Those of you that are joining us today, as well as you guys about to see some more of us, especially today. You're going to see definitely probably 9 times out of 10 more of me and Brother Sean and whoever else wants to join, Brother Benjamin, Brother Terrell. It doesn't matter because you guys already know whichever platform we're on, we're about to go live, right? So definitely in the next hour or so. So I'm going to say my namaste to you all. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace.